Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Epic Land stream. My name is still Sneaky, and I am now joined by the wonderful Icon. And, we'll be running you through Nutty Dudes versus B-List Love Island. I mean, what else could you possibly want in terms of MIC teams' names? Just perfection. But yeah, sorry, Icon, how are you doing? And how does it feel to be on the desk at last?
I tell you what, it feels amazing. I'm happy to be back. Second time here at Epic Land, and this time we're in a different setup. But you know what? Yeah. It's lovely and cool in here.
Oh,
I can't complain about the climate whatsoever. We are in the best room in the building right now, so I do not envy the players in that sweaty LAN room because God, it is hot in there right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the heat of competition. We've already seen Black Can go down, and also a pretty competitive last game that we just had on stream here. Got to the upper echelons of a scoreline on Mirage, but here and now, into the knife round we go on Nuke. And do you have any predictions or premonitions about this matchup?
Oh, it's a difficult one to call, obviously. Both teams being mixes, a bit of a hodgepodge of skill levels as well. But looking at these two lineups, I'm going to have my money on the B-List Love Island boys to take this one.
I mean, the name is just, it's impeccable. I don't have a favourite going into this one. I think you're definitely more familiar with the individuals than I am. But, you know, I like a bit of Dexy, but at the same time, I like a bit of Reese.
There's no question about individual skill on both of these sides, right? Like Proxy, for example, is on an intermediate team that just got promoted to main last season. Yep. You've got Reese, who obviously was until fairly recently playing on Blackhand in main as well. Infinite's not someone I'm too familiar with. Gil, I know, is more of a laid-back player when it comes to Counter-Strike. He's not committing too much of his time to it.
Fair enough.
But he still can hold his own, don't get me wrong. Woody's someone that I'm not too familiar with. But looking over at the other side, the B-tier Love Island guys, I know that Vacancy has recently just got himself on an advanced team with LVN and the like of him. So definitely no lack of skill there. You've got Dexy, of course, previously of Endpoint Academy, a great AWP player. Pommy, he's been in the scene for years and years. He played with the likes of Rattlesnake and Ryback years and years ago. Stop It. Worth mentioning that Stop It was the highest rated player at EPIC36. His team didn't make it out of groups, but he still put up the numbers regardless. And leaving Mister, a bit of a grey area there. I have no idea.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, Woody not to be confused with the current Brazilian player of the same name, I believe from MIBR. But yeah, we got otherwise a pretty nice matchup of UK players here. Oh, sorry, Pommy, that was just actually incredible. I know you guys can't see the warm-up, but he just landed 3 1-digs in 3 bullets. Hopefully he can replicate that on the server. That would be rather exciting.
Like all the warm-up heroes, I think.
Yeah, the warm-up warriors.
Yeah.
But outside of the warm-up warriors, I think, you know what, I'm going to side with you. I'm going to side with you and go for B-List Love Island as our champs here. But again, it also comes down to... it will be Nutty Dude starting on that CT side? No, that is B-List Love Island on the CT side, right?
Yes, indeed. They've just swapped sides there momentarily. Have we seen a knife round just yet?
Yeah, we've seen a knife round. So this is the switch.
Lovely stuff. Okay, yeah, well... It's difficult, like we say, to compare these two teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, being mixes, the rotations are not going to be nailed. There's not going to be much strategy. It's going to be simply, let's run a default on the T side at least, see if we can find a pick outside. Okay, they've pressured outside, we'll look elsewhere. Those sort of reaction-based gameplay, you know? So, it looks like we are good to go and be heading into our pistol round here. The Nutty Dude starting on that T side, and we've got ProxJ with the utility and P250 in hand. I wonder, what is the strategy here for the Nutty Dudes early on? They look to pressure outside, and ProxJ dropping the smoke, dragging a lot of attention towards this outside area. Dexy's been flashed off, and players slipped into main through the gap. Stop It with 2 quick kills immediately, make it 3 for Stop It. And Prox unable to do much, just the 1 kill for him. And immediately B-List Love Island take the pistol round.
I was going to say, Stop It, a very appropriate name there as they push on into that A-bomb site and are immediately decapitated in their stead. And yeah, as a result, we've got I love a good auto shotgun there on Vacancy up against the pistols. That should deal some decent damage. But otherwise, a very comfortable buy for B-List Love Island. And on the flip side, Nutty Dudes, are they going to run into the XM? Well, the bomb certainly doesn't to start off with. That's Mr. holding it down. But the Glocks, they find 2 kills, which is definitely a lot more than they would have expected from a round like this. And in the process, I believe B-List Love Island have lost an A1S.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, those kills for Infinite, they didn't opt to go for the AWP glass cannon on Infinite as a result, but he had the cash to do so if they wanted to. Fair enough, they opt for the AK and utility. A full buy coming out for the full side of Nutty Dudes here. And now we find ourselves in the first full gun round for both sides of this map. This will dictate, I think, what we can expect going forwards.
Yeah, the one thing to note, though, is there are still some MP9s on this B-List Love Island squad. It is a bit of a bonus buy round for them, so the Nutty Dudes need to capitalise early doors, but Stop It will not allow them. I can just feel myself clenching my teeth as to not make puns this early on with the poor man's name. But yeah, in a nice 5v4, the CT certainly have an advantage, and look at that health depleting on Infinite as well.
Yeah, Stop It's taken a decent chunk of damage as well on his early engagement. But the B-List Love Island guys, they find themselves in a good position here early on. They got the one-man advantage. They maintain control of outside. They still have ramp, but Pommy, with a couple of players looking to head in his direction, MP9 in hand, and the flashes coming over the top, full blind, and Pommy's forced out of position. Dexy's rotation is here in perfect time as he gets 2 quick kills, but Woody's trades are there as well. Stop It does put a stop to that whole debacle outside. Gil able to trade one in return, but Vacancy shuts the last man down, and the B-List Love Island guys, they start off with that 3-0 lead.
Yeah, very strong one at that as well. It's going to be a tough one for Nutty Dudes to crack. But as they go for a couple of upgraded pistols here, it is again a hunt for damage. See if they can get 2 or 3 kills on the board, which they were able to do with Glocks, so I wouldn't put it past them to do something similar here. They're pretty good when they pick up the pace. They've got the aim, that much is clear. They just need to be a little bit more put together. Like Woody, great double kill towards ramp there, but Vacancy doesn't give a damn what weaponry you're on. He's just going to push straight through Heart, and that's a nice opening frag onto Gil.
Yeah, disrespect there from Vacancy. Throws that fake Molotov that lands behind the door, walks straight through Hut, takes the first kill of the round. A bit of a risk against the Deagles like this, but it doesn't matter, it pays off early on. Gil hits the ground, and now it's up to Reese and the boys to pick up the pieces here. Realistically, looking at the economy of the B-List Love Island boys, this was just a round where they were aiming for damage, and Vacancy gets a knife as well, so they didn't get the damage they were looking for, Nutty Dudes. The B-List Love Island guys, 5 alive. They're stacking up the cash here already, and the CT side of Nuke is so hard to crack once you've got control of that economy, so it's up to Nutty Dudes now to answer back. The AWP's now in play. Yeah,
with that AWP in play, I think they will be getting, well, obviously they'll be getting more done, hopefully I've not jinxed it, than that deco round. It was unfortunate that they all just got encroached in on lobby. There was nothing they could really do to even attempt to reply to that. Just great maneuvering from the B-List Love Islanders. But Vacancy now down to 6 HP early doors and Stop It onto 68. Well, this is an open opportunity for Nutty Dudes to capitalise on. Gil forced out of ramp with that Molotov. It will slow down this T-side aggression. And Proxy does give up his position outside as well. Yeah, just a bit of a slower style of play here, but B-List Love Island can't afford to rest on their laurels as Proxy does open up onto the head of Stop It.
Yeah, he's found some really good ground here outside already. Slips his way into main as well, while Dexy's hunting for him here. But this is the kind of style that we expected from Nutty Dudes, a mix on their T side, a default style of play. They get the opener outside, they submerge into that A-bomb site, but the trades are here for the CTs. We find ourselves in a 2 versus 2. Now make that 1 versus 2, but Woody full HP essentially. Vacancy on 6. 1 bullet would be all it takes, but he gets caught facing the wrong way. Pommy shuts it down, and already I feel like B-List Love Island are running away with it here early on.
I mean, that was an absolutely impeccable crossfire on the A-bomb site there, and the trades were just miraculous. They recover what was an incredible deficit, and now with this 5-0 scoreline, Nutty Dudes again, they swindled the advantage that they had, and they're onto a single rifle in this purchase. Otherwise, it's MAC-10s and Tech-9s to play with, and it's a great initial peak from Vacancy, but Gil and Proxy, they come out on top, and Dexy unable to capitalise with a trade. 4v3, B-bomb site under the control of Nutty Dudes, and this is going to be a more challenging round now for the B-List Love Islanders as Gil does go down to stop it, and stop it finds a double. Back to the 2v2 again, Icon.
Oh my lord, that was a cheeky bit of play there. We saw early ramp aggression coming out from the CT side. Head-to-head duels coming in. Perhaps a bit of a risk take from the B-list Love Island guys. And looks like it's going to net Nutty Deuce their first round. Unless, of course, Mister can pull off an insane 1 versus 2. He's got the kit in hand and a smoke to play with. But it doesn't matter when Reese is ripping their head clean off like that. And the first round for the T side, a much needed round at this stage in the first half, goes their way.
And look at how bad already some of the CT economy is. Vacancy can obviously drop one over, but Stop It's on the MP9 here. It is very, very difficult to manage that early game CT economy, and that was such an important round for Nutty Dudes to take over the line. With that round win, they now have the economic advantage in terms of utility and weaponry. There is no AWP on this B-list Love Island side now, and Proxy almost catches a player off guard towards outside and may well still have that opportunity as he creeps around the back of Red, but it's a game of ring around the rosy here. Look at Mr. flicking wildly outside, desperately trying to account for this, but Proxy, unaccounted for, has slipped down lower through Secret.
No
and
way.
Mr. No with a knife out! How has this even happened? They've all walked past each other, and Reese, well, he starts us off with an alt frag, and they are going to be none the wiser about Proxy's positioning.
Presence of mind there from Reese to clear that with gun out. His teammates walked straight through outside and not seen a thing. There must have been some communication. Maybe he could have got past me. There's a window there where they could have snuck through. But now Pommy lining up 2 on the ramp defense. Goes for the quick switch at the wrong time. Pulls out the nades, and Woody able to get the trade. 3 versus 3 as the dust settles, but great position for the Nutty Dudes right now. They've got an open B bomb site and a free plant. B-list Love Island now. It's the retakes up to them.
Again, a valiant play from Pommy to even bring us back into this circumstance in the first place, but a very tough retake. They've got 3 flashbangs when really they've been wanting a smoke in a scenario like this, and they'd also want Stop It still alive. Proxy goes for another swing, but can't quite finish the frag. Instead, it's Vacancy on the Rita. Now they know exactly where Woody is. Dexy is actually going to find the frag in all of the madness, find the defuse, and that's B-list Love Island onto a 6th when Nutty Dudes again have every advantage in their favour.
Oh no, I feel like that just comes down to a huge miscommunication there. Reese caught out in the open, jumping around with the AWP in hand. I'm assuming that he thought his teammate was covering that right side of ramp. The left side was smoked off, but that's what it comes down to. They lose the round as a result of just a really small slip up there. Nutty Dudes, they could have run away with it at that stage, but now they're back down onto the 4 spy. They've basically invested everything they've got bar Gil, and we find ourselves in a situation where this half could get really, really tough for them at this point. Oh, a missed nade there from Stop It.
Well, he might miss his nades, but he doesn't miss his shots. That's a great kill onto Gil. And with that, well, B-list Love Island, again a man advantage, and if Vacancy can catch anything down on the lower site, then that will be, well, it'll be tremendously helpful as he drops the bomb in no man's land. The ult misses the shot. Proxy is on the site. Vacancy spots him, and it's a tumultuous gunfight. But Infinite is the one to win it out, and it's another 3v3 here. But again, the advantage for Nutty Dudes as they will have a post-plant scenario.
Mister, the first point of contact, snuck through the gap already. He's mowed down 2 immediately. Again, Reese not aware of the potential of a close man, and the retake 3k from Mister. He shuts it all down, and B-list Love Island are just swimming right now through this first half.
Oh, that was just beautiful. As I said, a mass of all weapons to pull off what was effectively a 1v3 there. Obviously, he's got 2 teammates still alive, but that was all the hard work and dandy crafting of Mister. Well, clearly a man to look out for on the 4 spy investment. And would you look at Vacancy? Look at what he's brought back into the fray. That's another auto shot. He could have been dropped a rifle, but why get dropped a rifle when you can have fun with $900 a kill?
Absolutely.
Oh, they're coming right
fast
into
A play as well. Vacancy's got himself in a good position, but it's not his responsibility to be holding Hut. The trades go in favour of the T's for the time being. They have somewhat control of the bomb site, but no smoke for main. Dexy just picking them off like sitting ducks. Gil needs to get the trade, but he can't get it done. And now Reese immediately thrust on into the 1 versus 3. The reactions from the B tier Love Island guys was amazing, and the round gets shut down before it even starts. 8-1.
These crossfires are just impeccable through and through. That A bomb site play where they cover every angle of opportunity for Reese to leave that vent position. They got one main, they've got one door, and they've got one in heaven. Like, that was an impossible round for him to win. He would have had to have landed the initial one tap onto the squeaky door player and then follow up onto what was already an impossible frag towards heaven. Great stuff from B-List Love Island, and for a mixed team, they look incredibly well drilled. And with that, again, it is the CT side of Nuke, but if they continue in the style they're going at the moment, I don't think Nutty Dudes will be able to pick up more than 3 rounds.
Stop it, able to open up the round with a kill onto Infinite outside, and they're still contesting this control. Main smoked off, but the CT side of the B-List Love Island boys, they do not want to concede this control. Prox able to trade one back, and Reese on the scout deals with Stop It as well. So now we have it outside control in the hands of the T side, but a Garage player already rotated in, goes peeking in, Dexy able to trade, 3 versus 3 after all. The fights go back and forth outside, and a spread map from the T side right now.
Dexy is a monster, though. He's 15 in 4 right now. I'm not even going to say he's hard carrying, because Stop It's had some great moments, and everyone has had their individual plays. Mr. Vital on his FAMAS, and Dexy again catches Proxy. That's 16 and 4. That's a 4 KD right now. 10 rounds in. Gil does trade back onto Pommy. And that does complicate things a little bit, but would you guess it? It's Dexy back in form, back in position, catches the bomb carrier, who swings out in towards Hell. Dexy left with the opportunity to ace in this one.
Oh.
Is that an ace for him?
I believe it is, my friend. That is a nasty, nasty ace from the man, Dexy.
Good Lord.
Shuts it all down outside. Then he rotates over to ramp and shuts it down there as well. Nicely done from Dexy, and you can see why he was labelled a potential up-and-comer from the UK scene when he went into the Endpoint Academy, and it looks like his skill level has been maintained, if not increased, since that point.
He's omnipresent, man.
Absolutely, and look again, the fake Molotov, he goes peeking straight through into lobby, nobody there in his line of sight, but the Molotov ticking at the feet of that close man in radio. Information gained at the bare minimum.
Well, it's not so much about the hold on. Pommy? Okay. Finds one completely through the smoke. They will now be rushing him with the pistols. Catches Proxy before he falls to the Tech 9. But I think he's done his due diligence for now. The B-bomb site has been taken, but again, it's just pistols and a MAC-10. That's Mr. Well, he's trying to bait them into peeking and vent. No such luck at the moment. But can he hear that man on railing? I don't think they made enough noise for that to be audible through the wall. But B-List Love Island, well, they're making their way down towards his site, and it should be a relatively smooth retake as long as they clear this lower position. McGill, he's forced out by a Molotov, does get a frag for his troubles, looking for more, and it's a complicated retake, but it is a 1v2 for Infinite.
Oh, it's planted for him as well, but unfortunately they have the smoke on the CT side. Infinite knows he has to peek out to deal with that one, and a 10-1 lead for B-List Love Island. Seriously, at this stage in the half, this is where you start to get worried if you're on the Nutty Dudes side, right?
Yeah.
We know that this map in this current meta, well, Nuke has always been a CT-sided map, perhaps less so these days than it had been in the past, but still, we expect 5 rounds as a kind of standard for a T side on this map.
Yeah.
So Nutty Dudes, if there was ever a time to wake up, now is the time.
Although Proxy, no way can he do it again, sneaking down secret past all the CT presence. In fact, he's not going to need to sneak as all 3 of the opening outside players make it down to the lower site, and Dexy doesn't give a damn about where you are, because he's there as well, picks up a double, looking for 3! Dexy, that is impeccable fragging on the AWP, he's going back for more, peeking on in, he's not going to find this one, Woody does capitalise, but Stop It, put to stop the Nutty Dudes, and by God, what an incredible lower hold, Infinite doesn't know what to do with himself in this 1v4, and that will be an 11th round on the board for B-List Love Island.
Oh my lord, how did Dexy get that third kill? He saw the slither of his shoulder and he was able to flick him through the edge of the wall. Infinite able to get one back before he hits the ground, but insignificant at this stage. You look at the cash stacked up towards the back end of this half on the CT side. Even if they lost the next 2, they'd still be able to buy up in the final round of the half. So they're in a great position already. I mean, already. The game could almost be over at this stage.
Yeah, they could actually hit 14 here here, and I wouldn't be surprised with the way they've been playing. They've also not gone for a double AWP setup either, which I like. Dexy is just, he's like a double AWP setup because he is everywhere. He's on A, he's peeking into lobby, he's catching space, he's killing you on B for some reason, and Vacancy, that is just insult to injury, creeping in front of the utility, catches poor on Infinite off guard, and Pommy gets a Molotov kill, because why not at this stage of the game? It doesn't matter what loss bonus you throw at Nutty dudes. Well, there's a hailstorm of bullets behind every single round of play, and it's Dexy again. Where has Dexy come from? Where does he go? Nobody knows, as Mr. is pushing into Reese's position. And I don't think Reese is too much longer for this world.
I tell you what, my head is in my hands. The Nutty dudes, the default playstyle that they wanted to bring into this T side is just getting picked apart on every single side of the map, being outclassed on rotations, frag power, utility. We could go on. B-List Love Island have come to play in this game, and you can see why Vacancy is a good example of a player who has a lot of good experience at a good level, main plus. Yeah. Of course, we talked in the pre-game about how Dexy and Pommy have been around for a long time as well, and even Stop It, you know, like we said jokingly, highest rated player at the last event. Well, he's shown up in this game in a big way, so everybody on the B-List Love Island side looking confident so far. Vacancy, he's just having fun with it at this point. We saw last round peeking through the doorway. This time he's having this little sneak around the secret halls. And honestly, we're going to have some individual heroics required from the Nutty dudes if they want to get anything done. I
mean, the thing is, there's not enough frags to go around because Dexy's stolen them all, so these scorelines are fairly deceptive, but my goodness, Gil does get a nice entry, and Pommy, he's in between a rock and a hard place there. Gil. Nice double entry from Gil. This does complicate things now for the B-List Love Island squad, but oh god, Dexy, he's got
It's simple.
One. He's back in for another. He could even collateral them here if he gets lucky, but no. Reese to trade things back, and Reese will pick up a double, leaving just Mr. in a 1v2.
Mr.'s position seemingly known by Prox here as he carefully creeps on around. I don't know if that's a CT or T smoke, but in fact, the T side have slowed this one down for the time being. Now, with the safety of a covered plant, they've planted on the right side of the site at least. They've got control of the double doors, but they go swinging into Mr. and the double peak just too much for him. Nutty dudes are able to put their second round on the board, but realistically too little too late here.
I spoke a bit too soon because he did actually line both of the CTs up there. If he'd have just swung a little bit further instead of having to go back for a repeat, there is a serious chance that he gets the spray down. But he doesn't, and honestly, I think that's a good thing for the competitive nature of this series. If Nutty Dudes can at least get 3 and the pistol going into the second half, then at least there is a hope that they can make this one to double digits at the very least. But Vacancy, well, he doesn't really care about your double digits, and neither does Pommy. Catches Gil through a smoke for good measure. And Nutty Dudes, again, in a disadvantageous position early doors, as it's entry after entry for the B-List Love Islanders. And, well, tonight on Love Island, it seems that it's been quite a dominant showing for our CT
I tell you what, these B-Listers right now are looking like A-Listers on this map of Nuke.
Smooth.
Dexy leading the charge. That's his 26th kill of the game as he hits the ground. And there's this is round 15. He's on 26 kills. On for the 30 bomb before we even make it into the second half. But now all onto Woody in the 1 versus 2. He's got kills coming his way, but the nade, the Kobe lands right at his toes. And that's a 13-2 scoreline for the B-List Love Island guys. They're going to be very pleased with how that first half has gone for them, Sneaky.
Absolutely. I mean, 13 rounds. I know it's a CT side. I know it's a CT-sided map, but there is no way in hell that many rounds should ever have been let slip through. Honestly, that was... it was just very enjoyable to watch. That is definitely one for the highlight reel for a lot of those B-List Love Island players, especially Dexy, who, as we said, almost 30 bombed in 15 rounds. He is going absolutely nutty. And the rest of his team, as much as I think it's an overstatement to say they don't need to show up behind him, they're just chilling. As you said, Vacancy, he's just ambling around, having a good time on both sides. And, well, on the flip side, Nutty Dudes, it's just been a little bit hard to watch in places. They've had some good moments. Proxy's been good on a lurk roll, but his lurking has, again, never really come into fruition because they failed a lot of their advantageous post-plants.
Exactly. In order to be an effective lurk player, you need your distraction to be effective as well. You can't just go on a lurk even though everybody on your team's already dead. You know, the sort of things that Prox is trying to play off of just aren't going well for his teammates or elsewhere on the map, right? And this is where we know mixes are going to struggle. When you've got a player on the other team who's popping off individually, not missing a single shot, you just don't have the trade spacing, you don't have the setups to deal with this sort of individual prowess when you have no preparation, when you've got no setups.
And you could tell that the util wasn't really there for the Nutty dudes either. Like, okay, they had some outside smokes. They did get down to B a couple of times through that, but then they weren't flashing for their crosses. They knew the Molotovs, obviously, for top hut. That's a fairly simple one, but they weren't having someone flash them in. There was no gold flashes, no heaven smokes, and a lot of the time they just left a main unsmoked when they did go for those 8 pushes, which allowed 4 people like Dexy on the AWP to just walk on him, get 10 frags, and win 6 rounds.
Too easy for Dexy.
Yeah,
you give him shots like that, he's going to hit them every single time, it seems, especially when he's playing like he has been so far in this game.
Man.
We do have a little technical pause for the time being, guys, between half 1 and 2 here, so hopefully we'll be able to get things sorted out and get this second half underway as soon as possible. But in the meantime, who are we looking for to show up for the Nutty dudes right now? I'm looking at Reese.
I'm very surprised at his 18-13 scoreline. He's definitely a name that resounds a lot more than that representation on screen.
Definitely.
And also Proxy, as much as he is top fragging, a lot of that has been in lurk kills that haven't really netted anything, or in post plants that haven't come into fruition. I do want to see more from Proxy. Gil had some nice entries as well. If he can create some space on this CT side, then maybe we can have something going.
Gil had actually possibly more influence over the rounds that the Nutty Dudes have won than a few other members of the Nutty Dudes side, you know. They were able to capitalise off a double ramp entry. But here we go. We've got a little hut creep coming in. No flashes required. Just straight aim fights being taken.
Wow.
Reese has got all that information, but he's taken a bit of shrapnel to the chest in the meantime. Prox has cut down players trying to drop down the vent. And already we've got a bit of a split-up T side here, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Dexy and Pommy able to shut things down. Reese and Infinite, both of them basically dead already. They do have a kit in play and a smoke on the back of Reese.
Oh,
but
no!
on rotation has been knifed again by, Vacancy's second knife of the game. And honestly, Nutty Dudes are going to be so disheartened. You can see Reese right now not even moving. We can hear the chat ticking away. They're definitely just memeing each other right now, having a bit of fun. And at this stage, I don't blame them. This game's over.
Is that 2 knives, 2 pistol rounds in a row?
I believe it may be.
Oh, good lord. It's just insult to injury again. And I mean, Reese is now being actively hunted. He has to deploy. Oh, he's going for his own knife kill. I respect the effort. Oh no, Dixie! Of all the people to deal the killing blow, that is just insulting. Oh, dearie me, Icon! What a palaver. 14-2, 7 times as many rounds as their opposition for the B-list Love Islanders.
Wow.
And, Nutty Dudes obviously have gone for a 4 spy, but...
we sold this in the pre-game as a potential close game.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Well,
I feel like I'm watching B-list Love Island play against an open team that's gone 4-10 in regulation. Like,
hey, that's me, man. Don't insult 4-10.
Sorry. I didn't mean to touch the nerve, but you know what I'm getting at. Like this, when you've got skill level of players like Prox and Reese on one team, you expect them to at least put some more individual skill into this game. Nuke is a map where it's difficult, though. Of course, you know it's a very, very team-based map. It's more
absolutely
coordination is more required on a map like Nuke than you would need for Mirage, say, for example. But this one's already fallen apart as we're discussing what's going on.
Yeah.
This one's done. Gil in a 1 versus 3. He's got a kit and smoke to work with, but no big gun in hand, and he's been double peaked. Stop it rips his head clean off, and we are just one round away from this being done and dusted.
I mean, forget gun in hand. He's got lead in head with that headshot coming through. Beautiful swing and a great way to finish the round. Also, I was going to say, B-List Love Island, they missed their heaven smoke and still find the one tap as poor old, I can't remember who it was at this point, but one of the Nutty dudes comes up the ladder and is immediately sent back down as a ragdoll. And with the buy advantage here for B-List Love Island, it's just not good. Proxy, he's got a 5-7, he's got a 4 position outside and is hidden by these smoke walls, but Mr. Well, he suspects that something is up. He's jiggling this angle. If he walks around that corner, I reckon he will clear it from the way he's been cautious of this angle. And also they know that Proxy is a lurk style of player. So it would be reasonable to assume that he's hiding down there. And yeah, he's just going to immediately decapitate him. Yeah. Can we see a 30 bomb from Dexy before the half is up?
I really do hope so. He's positioned in the lobby right now. We can see it looks like the CT's going for a little bit of aggression. Holding for it. He's able to get the 30 bomb. But Infinite with a quick double back on the FAMAS is not insignificant, especially now that
2v2.
Gil has dealt with Stop It. Reese, of course, though, only on a Deagle. Gil managed to recover an AK momentarily, but Vacancy trades him out, and Reese was already spamming his Deagle in the heavens. They knew where he was.
I mean, it seems like an AK is all he was able to recover as this round is getting further and further away from a possibility. No comeback at all. It is a 16-2 for the B-List Love Islanders and Nutty dudes. Well, that was quite something. That was quite something from them, Icon.
Yeah.
That's back to the drawing board for this mixed team, I would say.
Definitely. I think if you're the Nutty dudes... Oh, we've got some scores flipped at the top of the screen there momentarily. But if you're the Nutty dudes, you've got to be able to bounce back from that one, right? Don't take it too heavily to heart. You have to expect these sorts of things to be happening when you're coming into a LAN with very, very little prior experience together as a 5. And especially when you've got Dexy, who's a strong AWP player. Yeah. He was given free reign of the map to rotate anywhere he liked. I think it was probably him calling, yep, I'm going B this round. Yep, I'm going ramp this round. Yep, okay, I'm dropping down this round. Yep, okay, I'm peeking hut this round. Like, he had full reign of what he wanted to do there. And that's exactly what you want to see from an AWPer.
No, I mean, the one good thing for Nutty dudes is if they get grouped, at least they can farm Twitter impressions.
True,
You know, it's always good for that. But outside of this game, I think we probably will have a couple more competitive games down the line.
I do hope so, yes.
And we do have that one best of 3 this evening between me and you. But for now, I'm going to bid you farewell until tonight, as I believe you'll be joined next by B-Dog.
The lovely B-Dog.
Yeah, the wonderful birthday boy of B-Dog.
Indeed.
But yeah, until that comes on in, thank you very much for having me, ladies and gents. I have been Sneaky. This has been the wonderful Icon. I will see you later for another cast with this stellar gentleman. But until then, catch you in a minute.